Hey, everybody, and welcome to another injury-filled episode of Phil on the Mic. I, as always, am Darrin Michael, and joined today by the man, the myth, the legend, Money Marc. Money Marc, what's up, my
Oh, my hand
friend?
disappeared.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
Hold
no,
on. As I did in the first episode, got to get gassed up here. Woo! Let's
no,
go.
we're gonna talk about that in a second.
All right.
Um, but I wanted to mention something to you. I want to get your opinion on something. For one, we played basketball the other day. We actually lost by 5 points. And it was D money at its best, right?
Wow.
11 points in the first half, could not miss. 0 points in the
Wait,
second half,
is
could
11 points
not
a lot of
make.
met? Is that a lot of points?
I mean, for a half,
Doesn't sound like a lot of points to me.
well, if for one half,
All right. Okay.
the
All
game before I started off, I was 5 for 6 in the first half. I had 12 points. And the second half, I had 0 points. So
right. Okay.
I'm just a first half kind of guy,
The first half, yeah.
which really bothers me. I need to figure out how I can be a two half kind of guy. Like
Yes.
like I need to remove the second half from both the games. But that's not even the most
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the most important thing that I want to say. It's an over 40 league, so you got us older gentlemen. The
Mm-hmm.
air conditioning wasn't working.
Oh. Oof.
It was so friggin' hot. Like isn't that dangerous for us old men? I
Uh,
mean,
100%. Yeah, I
I
usually
mean
do
I
this bike ride every Tuesday, and it was 95 degrees with a heat index of 105. I'm like, nope.
it's
I'm 50 years
right.
old. I am not getting out in that because I'm gonna die.
It's too friggin' hot.
Yeah.
So I complained to the woman, and normally she's good at getting back to me with things. She hasn't responded in days. I just told her, I said, listen, you know what? I think I said, did I use the word negligence?
Ooh,
I don't know,
that's
but
like a lawyer word, dude.
I
That sounds like you're
used,
ready to lawyer up.
or maybe it was just high risk. I don't think I used the word negligence because I thought that
Okay.
was probably taking it a little bit too far.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know how you do it. I mean, we literally played 5-on-5. I mean, the other team only
Wow.
had five guys too. But let me tell you something that was really, really classy about this other team, right? Our fifth guy didn't show up until 10 minutes left in the first half. These guys
Wow.
are so classy. They actually played with four.
That's kind of cool. That's
Isn't
smart.
that isn't that
Yeah.
awesome? Like
Yeah.
really, really good
That's
guys and
good sportsmanship.
tremendous, right? I wish there was a bunch of people there that could have seen this team, and
Mhm.
and they're the best team in the league, and now I can't hate them anymore. Now I like them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Well,
damn
when you're the
it.
best team in the league, like you probably feel like you could have beat them with three. Like you probably feel like I could play three and beat these guys. So let's play four. Let's have an extra sub. Let's rest up,
But you
and
know
then we'll
what?
really crush them.
But on top of the fact that the air conditioning wasn't working, we're playing 4-on-4 full court.
Whew.
So it
Over
was
40 league. Over 40
over
league.
40 league,
Yeah, dude.
4-on-4
No,
full court,
come
no
on,
air
man.
conditioning. I
I
mean,
get
that's a
tired playing
recipe for
Papa Shot
disaster.
at the arcade with my son, man. I'm
Right?
not running up and
Seriously?
down a
I
court.
know. I know, right?
Come
It's
on.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Anyway, so that's what I want to say. Just get your thoughts on that. I'm glad that you agree with me, but it's really easy when you got another old guy that's going to say, yeah, I definitely agree with you because I'm an old guy.
Are
Maybe a
you,
guy that's 20 years old wouldn't agree.
by the way, you liking my downtown studio apartment that I just picked up recently?
Man, where is that
Nice.
anyway?
Like these
Yeah,
these
where is it?
leather seats right here.
Yeah.
I don't know why my finger keeps disappearing. Like it's kind of weird because I'm
You're a
actually in
magician.
this place, so it's like a camera thing. But yeah, these over there, I picked those up at Restoration Hardware, man. They're sweet.
Yeah,
They're
those look
baseball
nice.
glove leather, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very
So
nice. So you didn't tell me where this apartment is.
it is in downtown Chicago.
Oh, wow. How's the
Yeah, the
weather
Windy
over there in
City.
Chicago?
What's that?
How's the weather over there? It looks a little overcast in the
I
background.
mean, it's a little overcast. Obviously, as you can tell, no breeze whatsoever. Usually, it's a windy city, but nothing's blowing around, even though my window's open. Also, don't know why, but I think this is a good time to move on. Let's move on.
All right. That's good. That's good. Well, I've got a. I want to start off with a trivia question for you. See how good. Now you are a self-proclaimed NFL expert, right?
Yes.
Okay. Here is my question for you. Okay. I'm going to give you, I'm trying to think of how difficult this question is.
Well, the key being self-proclaimed. So
Self-proclaimed.
let's
All
keep
right, I'll
going.
tell you what, I'm going to make this easy for you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 10 guesses.
10 guesses. Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I want you to name for me the eight highest paid NFL quarterbacks.
Of all time or currently?
Currently, per season, there's 8 guys that make at least $40 million in a season. I want you to name the top 8. It doesn't have to be in order.
Okay.
I just want you to tell me the 8 guys that are going to be making over $40 million
Tom
this
Brady.
season. Tom Brady, you've already missed one.
What?
Tom Brady, he only makes $25 million.
Only 25 million. Okay, all right. So this has got to be the younger guys that have.
Wait, hold on a second. I need to write that down, man. Already, you've missed one. You only get 2 misses here.
What do I get? 3 strikes, and I'm out.
No, you only get 2 strikes.
2. There's no sport or game that has 2 strikes, dude.
Fine, I'll give you 3 strikes.
Thank you. This is a sports podcast. I mean, come on.
I'm looking at these names and
right.
I don't know, man.
I'm going with
expert should have this.
I don't study the contract, so this is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, which I need to brush up on. But I'm gonna go with. Let me think. Carson Wentz.
Oh my God, man, you're terrible at this game.
Oh.
You're really? You can't like Wentz is the best quarterback that you can think of. There's no other better quarterbacks in the league.
It doesn't matter, but Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, and he doesn't make $40 million. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
it has nothing to do with better.
Yeah,
it has to do with the agent, bro. Come on.
He doesn't make $40 million for a reason, and that is because he thinks, hey, I've got so much friggin' money, and I want to spend it elsewhere. Maybe that's why he's so successful when the number 1 guy on this list makes double what he makes and has a terrible team.
I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers is number 1. He makes $50 million, right? How many receivers does he have?
Not many.
That's exactly right. But at least he has 50.
And he's got one less when they got rid of Devontae Adams to the Raiders, which I don't get.
That's exactly right. So they listen, they don't have any receivers.
Because they can't pay him. Because to your point, they can't pay him because he's got all the money.
So you see what I'm saying?
I got
you. So Brady making 25, that's an extra 25 million that you can put somewhere else.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right, what else we got? Come on.
Let me go with Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott is going to be making $40 million this year. That is correct. That's 2. You're 2-2 right now.
Okay.
No pressure. No pressure
in my head. No pressure. No pressure at all. Let me think. Oh, Matt Stafford.
Matt Stafford makes $40 million. That's correct. That's correct. So now you've got 3 right. You got 3 right.
There's 7 more to go?
No. You only have 5 more to go.
Oh, top 8. That's right.
Much better.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know how you missed that one.
Jeez.
$45 million, Mr. Mahomie.
My homie.
Mahomie.
Let's see.
All right, I feel like you're cheating now.
I'm not. I'm just looking at the names of the teams.
Of the teams? Okay, well that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
How about Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson is not on the list, and you've lost. You have lost, man. You have lost. Let's think about this.
Josh Allen.
Right? Josh Allen is on there. Yes.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is not on there. That's another loss, even though you've already lost.
Deshaun Watson.
How could you miss him? He just got signed to a $230 million all guaranteed.
I missed him
contract.
on purpose because I don't like that whole situation. I just blocked him out.
Oh, we're gonna talk about him again today.
How about Jared Goff?
No, Jared Goff doesn't make that much for.
Yeah, but I figured in the trade he might have picked up some cash.
No, he plays for Detroit. Why would Detroit ever? How about this? I'll give you the last 2. One just signed a contract for $46 million a year. The second highest paid guy, Kyler Murray.
I was just going to say Kyler Murray.
And the last one, and probably the most surprising,
Baker Mayfield.
A guy that I like a lot. No, God, no. A guy that I like a lot. Derek Carr.
Oh yeah, I actually thought of him, but skipped him in my head because I didn't think he actually made that much.
Yep. So you know,
I like Derek Carr, but I don't like him.
I like Derek
Carr. He doesn't show up in big spots, and he turns over the ball in a big spot. So
Well, he's getting paid like he's a great player. So we'll see.
I think
We'll
he's a
see.
great player. He's just he
I
hasn't
don't
been able
know.
to
I
prove the
honestly,
tournament.
I don't think anybody is going to trust anything you say on NFL anymore after you botch this one.
Dude, those are contracts, man. I don't contract. We're
Hey,
talking about contracts. Contracts. Come on, man. Who studies contracts?
that's right.
I bet any one of our listeners here doesn't know freaking contracts, like the top eight, top. I mean, who cares about it? Once it
I
gets
don't
to
know.
millions and millions of dollars, like you stop paying attention. Like
That's
it
not
could be
true. That's
25
not true.
million, 40 million, 60 million, 100 million, 10
That's
million.
not
It's
true.
all money.
I stay up at night thinking about this kind of stuff. Okay. I said to Trisha the other day, I'm like, actually, she said to me, she's just like looking at me and she goes, something has been on my mind. And I said, what is that? And she goes, who are the top eight paid
Yeah.
quarterbacks in the league? And I'm like, well, honey, that's a very good question. I'm going to ask Money Mark, who will not be betting this
By the
season on any
way,
of these
how
quarterbacks
did my name become Money Mark?
because your picks are all money, dude.
Oh,
You don't
okay. I like
remember
that.
that?
I
That's
like that.
why. That's
Yeah.
why.
Right
Because
on.
dude, your picks were like gold, man.
Money.
I introduced you once and I talked about how you've got the average success rate, I think, of picks is like, I don't know, 51%, and yours was like 80%. So you're
Yeah,
like Money Mark, man. You just got the money coming in.
I do like the picks.
Ready to play my favorite game.
Let's go.
Where
Hold on. I
the
need another blast.
okay.
This stuff's so good. Boost
Good
Oxygen.
stuff.
This episode brought to you by Boost Oxygen. Get your Boost Oxygen at your local CVS. $9.99. He's got the
That,
promos, bro.
that's your real
Promos.
talent. That's your real talent.
There's our
So time for where the hell is Phil? Okay, we still haven't seen him. No idea where the guy is. So I'm going to give you some clues as to where he is, and
He's over your right shoulder, by the way. Oh,
you're gonna guess. Oh,
the
yeah,
other shoulder.
it is my right
Yeah,
shoulder. You're right. Okay, I wasn't sure how this thing works, but
I see him. He's right there.
I'm gonna do some dance moves here for you if that makes you feel good. All right, question number one. This U.S. city has a population of 873,000, making it the 16th largest in the U.S. Dude, that is like a gimme hint.
What? Oh, so almost a million people. It's
Dude,
not Wilmington.
I'm
It's not
seeing
Wilmington, Delaware, by the way. I know
no,
that.
it's not Wilmington, Delaware.
Um,
That population keeps decreasing by the day.
kind of, yeah, that's true. I'm gonna go with Butte, Montana.
Butte, Montana. I like to think that that's an excellent guess, but I don't think that's an excellent guess.
That was a terrible guess on purpose because I couldn't really figure it
All
out.
right, let's go with question number two.
Okay.
It was named in honor of a German princess who had become queen consort of Great Britain and Ireland in 1761. That's actually not a terrible hint if you think about it.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
St. Paul. No, her name was not St. Paul. No, that is not correct. But
I was thinking of Pauly Girl. St. Pauly Girl.
But
I mixed up the beers.
All
With
right,
the
that's all right. It's all right. But I think that's a better guess. That's a better guess than
Okay.
Montana. All right.
Butte, Montana.
It's home to 3 professional sports teams.
Ooh. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I told you who they were, actually, you know what? I could. I'll tell you the sports that they're home to. Okay.
Okay.
There's a football team, a basketball team, and a soccer team. Now, why is it every soccer team, the name of the soccer team is whatever the city is plus FC?
Football club. I don't know.
It's just, I think that's silly. But anyway, that's just me.
It's kind of dumb. Dude, I'm in like a total brain fog this morning. So
This is tough.
I can't even think of a name of a city right now, like any city.
This is tough, man. This is tough. There's only 50 states to choose
The
from.
German princess thing is totally throwing me off. Like that is totally like I'm trying to think of a female name
Yep.
of a city.
Exactly.
That's like German
Exactly.
sounding.
Exactly.
It's probably as soon as you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, how did I not think of that? And it's a pretty big city. Jeez Louise, man. I can't even think of the name of a
Well, as soon as I give you clue 4, you're gonna get it in 2 seconds.
I'm gonna say, yeah, dude, I'm in a brain fog today. I have no idea.
All right, that's okay. That's okay. Hint number 4. It's the second largest banking center in the U.S.?
Oh my God, how did I not get this? Charlotte, North Carolina.
That is right. That
How
is
did I
right.
not get this?
A
Oh my God,
female name.
that's
You ever been
terrible.
to Charlotte, North Carolina?
Oh, many, many times. Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
Interesting. So
yeah.
you've been there many times. You
Yes.
know that it's named after a woman, Charlotte, but you couldn't figure that one
I
out. I'm
just
just putting it out
sometimes,
there.
I mean, I think you can relate. Sometimes your brain just goes into this vapor lock and like nothing's coming to it. And then other times you think of everything. So I'm just in a vapor lock moment right now.
Well, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. But the reason that Phil is in Charlotte is that he is at the Charlotte Panthers, not Charlotte Panthers. Yeah, Charlotte Panthers. He's at their training camp, working to help evaluate Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield because
Oh,
he's going to be the one that's going to be deciding who
that's a
gets
tough.
the season start.
That's a tough, not tough decision, by the way.
I know it's really not a tough decision, but for some reason they're making it into a tough decision.
I
And then
don't even I don't even know why the Panthers ever picked up Sam Darnold. I mean, that guy is total garbage. I mean, you guys know him as
he's
Jets fans. I mean, just
we got
terrible, terrible
not only
quarterback.
that, we got like a third and a fifth for him or
Yeah,
something. I don't even. I mean, he was. I
a
mean,
bag of
literally
footballs, basically.
just garbage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see. I want to start off with my favorite quote of the week, and that is from a guy named Hassan Whiteside. You know who he is?
No.
He's an NBA player. I don't remember what team he even plays for, but
Okay.
I guess he was on Twitter venting his frustration with some of the things that are happening in this country, right? So here's the quote, and this is verbatim. I'm really done with America, bro. I'm moving to Hawaii ASAP. Okay?
No, wait. Hold on, hold on, hold on,
I'm just put
hold on,
that
hold on.
that's verbatim.
I know,
Verbatim.
but but could that have been sarcasm? Like, is that like a? Could he have been joking, like tongue in cheek? Like, what did his face look like when he said it? Was he joking?
Uh no.
He was dead serious. He literally thinks Hawaii is not part of the U.S.
That's why it's so ridiculous.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
That's why it's
You
so
sure he
ridiculous.
wasn't joking?
And this guy makes millions of dollars more than you and I combined.
Yeah, I mean, there's yeah.
Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
I can't even talk about that. Yeah. By the
So
way, we got to reevaluate that IQ test that I talked about, saying baseball was the lowest. It sounds like maybe NBA is in the running.
I think
So
there's some major problems with
I'm gonna have to re-look at that study because
what
I
I
do
think I'm
know a
gonna
lot
do.
of baseball players that are really smart. So
I got to find a way to reach out to Hassan Whiteside and get him on the show just so I could be like, dude, are you really that stupid? Like that's
by the way, if we played the Where's Phil with him, he wouldn't get it ever in any guesses.
he'd
If
probably
you know what
be
I mean?
like who's Phil?
Yeah.
That's what he'd say. Well, yeah, welcome to the Phil and the Mike show. Yeah. Do you know who Phil is? No, who's Phil? Never heard of him before.
Yeah.
Okay. Baseball. That's what we're
Baseball.
jumping into. That's what we're jumping into. And this is I've got just a few stories that are just hysterical that I want to talk about. And one is the Tatis PED, right? So we're all excited about the trade, right? So they trade Soto for like they give up, I think it was 6 of their top 12 prospects
Yeah.
and Luke Voigt, who actually I think he in the strike shortened season, he not strike the COVID season, I think he led the majors in home runs,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm correct. So I think it's really funny that so Soto is the guy that turned down 15 years for 440 million. So I can't wait to see what happens, how much money it's going to actually take for them to sign. But the crazy thing is we're all talking about how incredible this lineup is going to be, right? You got Soto, you got Machado, and then you got Tatis coming back from injury, right? An injury that I think was on a motorcycle, if I'm not mistaken. So it turns out, and I'm sure that you've heard and everybody else has heard, that he tested positive for steroids and now he's out for 80 games. And although I think that's really pathetic, knowing that they're going to test for steroids, did you hear what the excuse was why he tested positive? This is
No.
this is this is the best. And I gotta tell you, man, this props to the agent for coming up with this if he was the one that
Okay.
came up with it. So what happened was supposedly he had ringworm. Okay. And so he inadvertently took a drug called clostebol, okay, which is actually a synthetic steroid, instead of I think it's called closteribol, which is
So
which is to treat ringworm.
I
So he
mean,
took the wrong one because it was worded incorrectly
but hold
and it
on,
was given to him incorrectly.
hold on. Doctors prescribe medications. How did he get the one that was wrong the first time?
You know
Was
what?
it just in his cabinet and it's like, oh, that's an antibiotic steroid. I know I don't need to take
I
that, but
I don't know.
like you can't like that doesn't even make any sense.
I
So are they
don't
saying the
know.
doctor wrote the prescription wrong and he took the wrong medication because the doctor wrote it wrong?
You know what? They're not. He said he inadvertently took the performance enhancing drug clostebol to treat ringworm, and apparently either he, his agent, or his marketing guy thought the world would mistake clostebol, the synthetic analytic steroid he was caught with, for clobetasol, an over-the-counter drug used to treat skin ailments such as eczema and psoriasis and ringworm.
Dude, this is the worst logic I've ever heard any
Right?
agent use in their life. So they're saying there's an over-the-counter drug that he
Yes.
thought he
Yes.
was taking, but
Right.
he was actually taking something that is a controlled substance that
Yes.
requires a doctor's prescription by accident.
That's correct.
Oh my god, dude,
That's correct.
that's ridiculous.
Because the name was confusing. That's what it is.
But
So
you can't. But I can't go to CVS and buy the steroid. I can go to
that's
CVS
correct.
and buy the ringworm medication. Like, what is he talking about?
That is correct.
Oh my god.
Right? You can't and you can't make this stuff up either. I mean,
Dude, give him the asterisks now, man. All his stats are useless. Give him the asterisks.
right?
He's done.
I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, it's like, it's one of those things. It's how stupid do you think we are?
By the way, my new saying for all this is don't hate the game, hate the player.
And
Because the game has rules and the player's breaking them, it's the player's fault.
well, not only that, remember, they signed him to a huge contract.
Yeah, I know.
He was like 12 years, 300 million or something like that. I mean,
You're
under
obviously
market
the contract
value, I
expert.
guess.
I am not.
Obviously, I am, right?
I mean,
So,
I know it was big, but I don't know the actual dollar amount. So yeah.
I mean, seriously, what are you like? Is that what they think? Oh, well, you know what? You know what? Take these steroids. It'll be okay
Okay.
because we can just say it's something else, and you made a mistake.
I'm back to the baseball players being the lowest IQ at this point. I think that's a smart argument to make in public. Like any fan can see right through that. It's just ridiculous.
That's exactly right. It's exactly
just make steroids legal or ban these guys for life. I mean, not 80 games, just kick them out of the league. That's what you have to do because the risk reward is the equation they're doing in their head. Like, I can do this. I'll probably get away with it. If I don't, I get an 80-game suspension. That's half a season. No big deal. Like, I'm going to dominate, get this massive contract, get millions of dollars. And if they find out I get banned for 80 games, half a year, hey, that's a vacation. I'll take half the year off and take a vacation. And
you're stuck with a guy. You're stuck with a guy that first off didn't even get hurt doing anything baseball related.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, this should be a lifetime ban. It should be a lifetime ban.
Right. When you're that stupid, maybe it should be.
And you should have to pay the money back. You cheated. You didn't earn the contract. You cheated to get it. You should have to pay that money back. That's the fans' money, dude.
Yeah.
Fans should get that money back.
You know what? And he'll be welcomed back after 80 more games with open arms, and everything will be fine, and it'll pretend like nothing ever happened. But
I don't like
hey, with any luck, his ringworm will be gone. And the nice thing is, while he's suspended, does that mean he can keep taking performance-enhancing drugs? I mean, let's just listen. Let's just say a prayer for him that his ringworm goes away. Okay.
I'll certainly keep him in my thoughts and prayers.
All right, let's move on to so that's kind of butthead of the day number one. Let's move on to butthead of the day number two, and that's, I hate to even say it, but Pete Rose.
Yeah,
butthead of the man. I mean, listen, you're a Philly guy. You're a big fan. I'm a big fan. I'm one of those guys that thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Dude, he was my favorite player when I was a kid, man. I collected all his baseball cards. I have a Cincinnati Enquirer special magazine when he broke the hit record. It's in cellophane. It's probably worth nothing now. The guy just hurts himself, man. I'm really let down. Like, when you prop somebody up as like one of your like heroes, athlete heroes as a kid, and they kind of turn out like this. I mean, ugh.
Well, let's talk about what happened. So he went back to the Phillies game. What was it? They were celebrating, what was it? Their 83 Worlds.
The 80, yeah, 1980, yeah.
1980. Okay, so they're celebrating the 80 World Series, and he was invited back, which is great. It's great. You can't really, you can't really have a celebration of that World Series team without Pete Rose. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So he gets a standing ovation in the game, and before the game, he was interviewed by a young female reporter who had asked him about the sexual allegations that he had with a minor. And his response,
Can you, by the way, first of all, what's really important is tell him what year that happened.
well, I'm getting to that. I'm getting
Okay.
to that.
Okay.
All right. So here is his quote, right? This is a verbatim quote. I'm not here to talk about that. Sorry about that. It was 55 years ago, babe. Okay. So, okay. So I understand it's been 55 years ago. It's nice that you threw a babe in there just to show what kind of man you really are. I'm here for the Phillies fan. I'm here for the teammates. I'm here for the Philly organization. He said, who cares what happened 50 years ago? You weren't even born, so you shouldn't be talking about it because you weren't born. And if you don't know a damn thing about it, you shouldn't talk about it. I mean, wow. 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 I mean, tell me the truth, man. After hearing his reaction to that, has your view of him changed?
This weekend with Pete Rose in Philly and what he said there, plus I watched him when he was in the booth during the Phillies game. They were pulling the players into the booth during the game, and I watched that.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the shine in my mind has just gone away. Like this guy is just, and here's the thing though, like he's 80 plus years old, right? He's an old dude, and like you know this to be true. Old dudes don't give an F about anything when they get to that age. They will say anything, they will do anything. You go in the freaking gym and they're in the locker room, like walking around naked, talking to each other, and like standing in circles, butt naked. Like it's like, dude, put a towel on. Nobody wants to see that, you know? And they just don't care. They just say whatever's on their head. I think there's like a degenerative process where the normal human language filter that everyone has just goes away.
Yeah.
It just deteriorates. And then they just say whatever comes to their brain. So that's not an excuse for Pete Rose. Like he's in like a public, spot. He's got to figure it out. But I just think that's where he's at. And in the booth, I'm just looking at this article right now because I watched it, but there was an expletive laden appearance by Pete Rose. He kept swearing during the thing. At one point, I remember him saying this. I don't think this is. Oh, this is in the article. He asked if the broadcast was an X-rated show. He described a pitch as a cock-high fastball.
Oh, Jesus.
And he said, horse shit, no shit, and son of a bitch.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, the guy, like, just lost every ounce of, like, respect. And, like, again, I looked up to him as a kid because of his baseball, but
yeah,
he's just not a good human being. I mean, it's bottom line is he's not a good human being, and I'm not really a fan of not good human beings. And it's hard to judge. I mean, you can't really judge people on that because, like, we've and other people have probably talked like that in the locker room, right? Like, you're just not on camera. You're saying like crazy stuff.
Of course.
So we have to kind of take it with a grain of salt. But the whole what the real thing that bothered me was when he said X-rated show. Like that has an implication that is just really twisted and bizarre. That would never come up in the locker room. Like, you know what I mean? It was just weird. It was just weird. Yeah. So I just think he's a weird dude. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I do think that bringing something up from 55 years ago, I mean, what's the point? Like that's been asked and answered like 20 years ago, probably, or whenever it came up. That person's just trying to get attention. And from what I've noticed, I've kind of looked on that person's Twitter, and all they do is keep talking about it to try to keep themselves in the public eye. So, you know, I don't know if it was a legitimate question or not. I personally think it was a question just to get that person into the spotlight, that reporter kind of get a little 15 minutes of fame. But, you know, again, just to be clear, if he did do something like that, absolutely disgusting, absolutely abhorrent, like not endorsed at all by anyone.
Of course.
But it's just the timeliness of it. It just doesn't make a ton of sense, at least not to me.
You know, I think he could have answered that one differently, and you know, hey, listen. I mean, I'm really not here to talk about anything else except for the Phillies and this organization who's been so good to me. Whatever. There's so many ways that he could have done it, but then, like you said, he went into the booth and he starts doing all this other stuff. So this guy
guys have no filter. That's the problem. Old guys have no filter. They can't.
You know what I also think? I think he's looking at it like, okay, listen, I'm in my 80s. I'm never getting in the Hall of Fame. I just don't care now. I just don't care because, I think he tried, but the guy just he had so many
Yeah.
chances to
He
come
doesn't do
clean.
himself any favors. He
He
does not
really
do himself
doesn't.
any
And
favors.
that's the problem. I
Yeah.
mean, people are gonna put people in the Hall of Fame that they like. And we've seen it time and time again. There's guys that should not be in the Hall of Fame. They get in the Hall of Fame because their buddies are on the committee and they want to put them in, whatever. It's really tough for somebody to support Pete Rose because of the backlash that they would probably receive.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what this guy is, and you're supporting him. What the hell's wrong with you? So anyway, we can talk about that all day. But since it's all about butt heads in sports, I wanna move over to the to butthead number 3 of the day, and that is Antonio Brown.
Oh,
Okay, the all-world receiver, and so he was asked what his biggest regret was in football, and he said a bunch of things, and he talked about some of the things that he did in the past, and listen, this guy has had a history of doing all kinds of stuff. Calling his GM a cracker, showing up late in a hot air balloon, throwing rocks at UPS driver, doing victory laps around the stadium, things like that. But this is what he said his biggest regret was, okay? And this is a quote. My biggest regret is that I'll never get to see me, Antonio Brown, play a game live. Sure, I can watch the game afterward, but I can't imagine what that was like for you all to see something like that, like watching the Beatles or Jesus perform at Red Rocks. Okay. So his biggest regret is that he will never be able to sit in the stands and watch himself play because
yeah.
he is as big as the Beatles or Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I have a totally different take than you, I think, on this.
Tell me,
Antonio Brown, if
because
you
you think
look
he
at,
is bigger than Jesus, right?
I think he's way bigger than Jesus. Like, I mean, way. Like he's like whatever the universal Jesus is, like that's him. No, no, I think like if you look at so Vontaze Burfict put you probably know
Yep.
about this, a
Yep. Yep.
massive hit on Antonio Brown years and years ago,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And if you look at interviews that he did before that, and you look at interviews after that, there is a clear change in personality, persona, you know, thought processing. And I'm going to tell you right now, CTE is that encephalogy or whatever the
Yeah. Yeah.
concussion
Yeah. Yeah.
encephalogy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So let me read you this real quick. Typical symptoms of CTE include short-term memory loss,
Yep.
frequent mood swings, depression, feelings of increased anxiousness, frustration, anxiety. So it really can create and mimic a mental health disorder. So I kind of feel
Interesting
more
thought.
I feel very sympathetic and empathetic to Antonio Brown because when you look, he has the history. You can see it. Go predate the Vontaze Burfict hit and look at all of his interviews.
Yeah.
Normal,
Yeah.
cool, great, awesome dude. Post it's mental health challenges, right? So that hit and CTE gave him these mental health challenges that he's fighting with, and it's pretty clear. You can hear the words he's saying,
Yeah.
right? Those
Yeah.
are delusions of grandeur. Like that's a mental health condition. Like I'm sure he's had depression. He's had all kinds of things. And he walked off the field mid-game, taking his shirt off. Like those are mental health things. So I
They
have a
could
lot of
be.
sympathy and empathy
Yeah.
for Antonio
Yeah.
Brown because of that history prior to Burfict. And I just don't think. I mean, it is absurd. It is kind of crazy to hear say that, but I definitely wouldn't put him in the butthead category at all. I actually think he's a great athlete, a great dude that has a very violent injury that has caused and that hasn't been treated yet, a mental health issue.
Well, I think part of it is that and I don't understand how they can't diagnose it until after you die.
Well, it's because the basically they'd have to cut your head open to see your brain to be able to know if it's kind of shrunken or swollen or whatever.
Isn't there any way to do that
I don't know.
without going,
I'm kind
with
of talking out of school here because I don't really know, but
right. I'm just saying, like, I would think that there'd be some kind of way that you could estimate that. Who was it? I think it was Brett Favre just came out and said that he's had thousands
yeah,
of concussions, and there's times that he's played through a concussion. And I don't doubt that. I mean, when you think of how violent of a sport it is, I don't doubt that coming up through the years, and I wonder how many kids get concussions while they're playing and
Yeah,
maybe just don't realize it. A hard hit to the head. I mean, you might not even notice it being a hard hit to the head, and things just happen. And
yeah.
it's
I mean,
it's really scary to think about. So it's
yeah.
an interesting take. I think it's a fantastic quote. I think it's hysterical. But yeah, I mean that's a great it's a great explanation
Okay, I can tell
maybe
you.
for his behavior.
I just looked this up real quick. So
Yeah, yeah.
currently, CTE can only be diagnosed after death through brain tissue analysis. Doctors with a specialty in brain diseases slice brain tissue and use special chemicals to make the abnormal tau protein visible. So the abnormal tau protein is the only way you can tell, and the only way to measure that is to take a slice of the brain and put a chemical on it to see it.
That's weird that you
Yeah,
can't that's the only way you can do it. It's unfortunate. Well, hopefully
yeah.
somebody comes up with a day to,
I
and
mean,
I
look
have
at Junior Seau, right? Like amazing man of the
oh
year
yeah, oh
guy, like
yeah. Oh, there's
55 years
countless
old, kills
numbers.
himself. I mean,
Yeah.
this is legitimate injury driven mental health that needs to be addressed in the league more. I mean,
But
they've done a lot more, but I think there's more to do.
you know what I think it is, and it's funny because you look back at guys that played like a long time ago, and they weren't having these kind of issues, right?
You don't
And
know. I mean, they could have been. How do you know?
I mean,
It might not have made the press like it does today. Like you can't
well,
even sneeze without like funny without it getting into the press if you're an
well,
athlete.
not right, not now.
You're
It's
under the
just
microscope.
when and I've done a lot of past research on. I'm
Yeah.
talking about guys from like the 40s and 50s and things like
Yeah.
that. And when you look at them, I mean, sometimes they played in cloth helmets,
Oh yeah.
before the real helmet or the leather helmets. I'm sorry.
But you
And
also have to remember too, like linemen back then were 6'1", 230 pounds.
that's
So
true. That's
you have
true.
a totally different athlete. I
But
mean, these guys are weapons.
oh no, they are.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know what's different though? What's different is that I mean, they tackle differently.
Yeah.
And when you look at videos from way back when, these guys actually tackled using their shoulder pads. They
Yeah.
went with shoulder pads, they went with arms. Nowadays, guys are going with their head.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, they are weapons. They tackle differently. It's a different, yeah, it was much more violent back then in the sense that, like now they really coddle some of these guys. There's a lot of penalties called, a lot of things you can't do. And back then it really wasn't. And these
Yeah.
guys, they would spend their entire career on one team and they just hated each other.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were just like rivals and just, it's not like nowadays where you play a game and then everybody comes to the middle of the field and sings Kumbaya and hugs each other and goes
Yeah.
out to dinner later on. It's nothing like that. So it's interesting, but I wanted to move on because I want to move on to NBA and I got to stick with the same theme, and that is butthead in sports, and I'm looking at Kevin Durant, right? And this is one of those things that bothers me. How, and this is not the only guy that's done this, how a superstar athlete can basically hold the team hostage, demand a trade because he doesn't want to be there anymore, even though he's under contract for, I think he's got 4 more years at 50 million a year. Like, you're an employee of the team, right? And here he is demanding a trade. What do you think about that? And we've seen this is the kind of thing that keeps happening. And I think the first time it happened was it God, who was it that got drafted and said he wouldn't play? Was it Manning who said he would not play for
Yeah.
whatever team
Eli
he was
Manning.
drafted by?
Yeah. He got
Yeah.
drafted by the
So
Chargers
yeah, I will not play for the Chargers, and
and
and then they made the
they
deal, right?
traded.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of pro athletes handcuffing the organizations. What do
Yeah.
you think about this situation where he's saying, "I don't want to be here anymore. I want you. You have to trade me."
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I always like to try to link these athletes' lives to like a common person's life, like working for a company.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the
yeah,
team
yeah.
is a company, and if I was at a company I wasn't happy with, I probably would put my resume together and start looking around. I don't think the athletes have that option, right? They're under contracts. Maybe you would say, well, don't sign the contract in the first place,
Yep,
but things can go from rosy to sour pretty fast, and maybe it's a great situation and now it turns bad. But
yep,
so, yeah, I definitely have mixed feelings. These multi-millionaire guys, like, I mean, I kind of feel like they just need to suck it up and do the best they can for the team.
yep.
But that said, there's a market for them and they know their value. And, I kind of think it would be stupid if I was an athlete and I was phenomenal. and I was unhappy at a company, quote unquote, I would look to try to get out of that company. I would look for the conditions to improve or to get out of the company and, get to another place where I'd be, happier. So can't fault him too much for that. But keeping the team hostage and like not letting the team do what it needs to do for the betterment of the team is difficult.
Yeah.
I think that's a little selfish. Like he should just, again, I don't know what the players' options are. Like what I'm taking from this episode is I got to study contracts a lot more because I do not know contracts, so I need to understand them better, like what they can and can't do. But
Yep.
it's clear to me. It sounds like he can't just go to another team like we would go to another job if we we're unhappy. But I will say, I feel like these guys are, they know their value and they're going to hold out for their value, and they're going to be selfish about it. They may not care about the team. I mean, you said something really important, like Tom Brady took less money so he could pay for guys to have a great team around them. And to me, I think that's the best approach because you're still getting your money, you're getting good money, and you have great players around you. So you're going to have job satisfaction if you can win. If KD could take less money and let them pay for more players, maybe he would be a lot happier and they would, play better. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm really on the fence with this, but I kind of lean toward, just be like a Brady, like take a little bit less money, like let the team be, support, especially at this point in his career. Like he's a veteran, like he should be looking out for these younger guys, and he should be shifting into, all right, I got mine, let me help you get yours. Let me take you under my wing. Let me teach you a little bit, but not knowing all the details and just like on the surface, it just sounds a little bit like selfish behavior. So
I'm just not a fan, man. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. Yeah, but let's the last kind of butthead that I want to talk about today was the Dolphins owner. And I honestly I don't even know what the hell his name is, but they lost a 2023 first round pick, a third round pick in 24. The owner was suspended through October 17th and fined $1.5 million for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton. They said it was impermissible communications with Tom Brady and his agent starting after the 2019-2020 season. Here's why I think this guy is a butthead, right? Can these guys truly do anything without it getting out? I mean, you're doing something that you shouldn't be. It's always gonna get out. Nothing is ever a secret, the way that I kind of look at things.
Yeah.
And then once one person tells somebody else and then somebody else, it just gets out. And what loyalty does anybody that knows about the situation have towards the Dolphins? Like Tom Brady and his agent, I mean, they're contacted. Maybe they're pissed about being contacted when they're not supposed to be. And so maybe they reported it. Maybe they told people who report. I mean, who the heck knows? But I mean, you really can't trust people, especially in that kind of a situation. You're trusting that because you are breaking the NFL rules, that somebody else is going to break the NFL rules with you.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, the owner's name's Stephen Ross.
Stephen Ross, yeah.
82 years old, by the way. This goes back to our old guy no filter thing. This guy also lacks a filter completely and just says whatever you said.
Obviously.
Sorry, apologies to any 80-year-olds. I love you guys, but like, you don't have a filter. You're walking around the YMCA buck naked. Like, it. But just own it and just say that's who I am. And probably you will because you have no filter. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot more of this kind of thing happens in the NFL that we don't hear about.
I'm sure.
I think it's way more common than like these types of tamperings and like just, by the way, second time using air quotes, finger quotes. I got to stop doing this. It's more like this, money. So, yeah, the tampering thing, I think it happens more than you think, and it's like one of those gray zones. Like, what is tampering? If I had a conversation with Tom Brady about his contract with Gillette Stadium, and I'm just asking him a question, is that tampering? Like how clearly defined is it? So I think it's one of those legal gray zones that probably everybody does, but it's just if you cross the certain level of it, then you get caught and slapped on the wrist, and all this stuff happens to you. I mean, that's a pretty severe fine and like pretty severe penalty that you just talked about. So it had to have been pretty severe. I'm chalking it up to no filter and 80-year-olds after that age. So he's just lost. Like just
But
when you turn 80, and by the way, the article I just looked up, he just announced his succession plan.
oh,
So
really?
I think his daughter is going to be taking ownership of the team now.
Okay.
So good move. I think every 80-year-old or above should just turn all their stuff over that's important to someone else. And I'm going to do that myself. So
You're gonna do it yourself. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Well, I hope Ben's up for the challenge.
he'll be up. He's already up.
So before we go, I just wanted to just a couple quick things, and one is we lost two very huge superstars that really I think really had a huge impact on a lot of people, and one was the incredible announcer Vin Scully.
Yeah,
You
man.
know, 94 years old.
The voice of
People
baseball.
people might not realize this. He was a Los Angeles Dodgers announcer for 66 years.
Man.
I mean, that's an unbelievable
I
career.
love listening to the games that he announced, man.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. So that's a huge
Yeah.
loss. But the other one, and definitely had a huge impact on my life, Olivia Newton-John
Yes.
died.
Oh my God.
And you
That
know,
was brutal.
if you haven't watched Grease, or you're not a Grease fan, or you didn't love that movie when you were younger, or even now, then there's something wrong with you. But she literally had breast cancer multiple times,
Yeah,
battled it for
fought it.
30 years, and finally, couldn't do it. I mean, listen,
Sandy.
when
She'll be Sandy forever.
oh, seriously, and I mean, the reason that it means a lot to me, that she meant a lot to me, is because I can remember when the girls were younger and we would watch Grease, and the three of us would sing all the songs together.
Yeah.
And so it makes me feel really, really nostalgic, and
What about the
really
memory
unfortunate.
with Money Mark that we had at on spring break where we did karaoke?
That's right. We did sing that. Which song did we sing? That's right.
It was Summer Lovin', Had Me a Blast.
Summer Lovin'. That's right. It
And
was
it
it
was
was
me and you on the guy side, and it
That's
was
right.
15 sorority girls on the girls side.
That's right. I totally
By the
forgot about
way,
that.
I just found that picture the other day.
Did you?
I'll have to take a picture of it and send it
Yeah,
to you.
take a picture and send it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
I
That
think you
was
had a sweater vest on or something.
oh my God. What the I wore sweater vest back then.
Summer
That
loving,
that
had
had to
me a
be
blast.
what year was that?
1993 or 92.
No, I think it was after that. Well, actually, you know
It
what?
wasn't
It
after that. I
was,
graduated college in 94.
you know what?
I
It
was done in
was
94.
no, because Trisha was a freshman, so it had to be March of 94.
Yeah, March of 94.
So it was 20, almost 29 years ago. Oh my
It's
God,
such a
you are
I don't
getting
even
old,
but
my man.
by the way, I don't even know who took the picture because we're both on stage and there's like 12 girls singing the girls part and we're both singing the guys part and somebody took the picture. I don't know. I don't even remember
I
who because
mean,
it was just the two of us at that bar at that time.
yeah, it was probably posted somewhere because oh, wait a second, the internet wasn't even invented at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, forget about that. Might have emailed it to you. I remember my email
Yeah.
screen. It was the black screen,
Yeah.
that yeah.
You put it on
Anyway,
your MySpace page.
the last thing that I wanted to mention is, and my mom gave me a lot of grief for this. I
Mm.
didn't announce her birthday on the podcast a couple weeks ago. So, Mom, I apologize for that. I'm not going to say how
Happy
old you are.
birthday to you.
Aubrey and I were doing some algebra homework last night, so I'm gonna put your age into a formula,
Ooh,
and then people can just decide on what it
try to
is.
figure
All
it
right.
out. All right.
It's 3/4 x plus 1. Okay. So happy 3/4 x plus 1 birthday. Okay. We're not going to say what that means. And also I wanted to mention that in 3 days, my parents will be celebrating their 54th
Hey,
anniversary.
dude, your mom looks, I don't care how old she is, she looks great. She's very youthful looking, and your parents are the best. I have nothing but fond memories of Bill and Laurie from back in the day.
They still don't know what your first name is. They still think your first name is Greta. So.
Yeah, the parents named him Greta was the line.
And one more shout out to my
Love your
dad,
parents.
who's fighting through COVID right now, even though he's got virtually no symptoms. They actually had to postpone their latest trip, because that's what you do, is you just travel around. They had to postpone their latest trip. I think it's Canada. I don't know why anybody would want to go to Canada. I mean, you go there in the wintertime so you can play hockey, but why would you go there in the summertime? Anyway,
Beautiful
I think they
places.
had to postpone their trip, but he's doing good, and They're
Who?
excited about the O's. They're excited about the podcast. They're waiting to see Money Marc again. His parents called him
Wait,
Greto.
who has COVID?
My
I know.
dad.
Oh, your
My dad.
dad. Oh,
My
I didn't know.
dad. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
Bill.
yeah. But a very, very mild
Yeah, that's what I had
case.
it a month ago. It was nothing,
Like you
literally
don't even
nothing.
realize it. Yeah, like you didn't even. I remember that. I was
Yeah,
there,
you were there. You were
and
there.
it was. You don't even. You kind of don't even realize it
Yeah,
nowadays. I mean, some people do get it bad, but
yeah.
most people just don't even realize it.
I think the good news is the strains have kind of gotten to be like just like a cold, and
Yeah,
like people are getting
exactly.
cold, and so that's a good thing for. It did cause a lot of deaths. I mean, my dad died from it. My uncle died from it, so it's a legit thing. But the flu also kills a lot of elderly people, so
It's
they're
true.
all kind of
It's
in the
true.
same class, and
That's true.
it's good that it's starting to be less potent in terms of death. So that's important. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's huge that it's like you said. It's become more of a cold now, which is why we're not all crazy wearing masks and
yeah,
and doing
right.
all that stuff. And
But
I
I do
think
like to. I still like to hit my boost oxygen.
you know talking about performance enhancing drugs, man. I don't think. I mean,
Woo!
I don't think that's fair, man. That you're using PEDs like that, in
The
front of
oxygen just goes
everybody.
right into the brain cells. I should have hit that like 4 times before the
I
Where's
know,
Phil segment.
right?
The Where's Phil segment, I would have gotten it like boom, Charlotte, done.
And the quarterbacks and the
And
quarterbacks.
the quarterbacks,
I mean, let's be honest, Marc. Who the hell out there doesn't know that Charlotte's the 16th biggest city in the country? Come on, that's common knowledge.
common now. And
Matter of fact, I asked
German
Trisha that last
princess. I
night.
mean,
Come on.
German princesses. I have a wealth of knowledge on 16th century German princesses. So the fact that I did not get that one, man,
It's
I'm gonna get
it's
my German princess VIP card revoked now.
that dude. Seriously, it's bad news. It's bad news. But I appreciate your effort with that, and thanks for playing along.
I'll pregame that oxygen like a half hour before the show next time.
All right, my man. Well, thanks for filling in again, man. It's been a great episode. I've enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and
good times, man.
just keep on keeping on, my brother,
Yeah, brother.
and we'll catch up soon. So
Yeah, great
everybody
show,
that's
buddy.
listening, thank you for listening again. We took some time off. We're back permanently. We got a lot of professional athletes lined up. I was really excited. I'm not going to talk about uh, one that I'm trying to schedule right away, but an ABA superstar basketball player from the 70s. I'm really excited. It'll be really
Julius
cool
Irving.
to learn now, to learn
Ah,
about the big hair and the outrageous outfits and just
Julius
everything.
Irving.
Everything was outrageous in the
Ah,
ABA. Well, you know what? He does live in Atlanta, and
yes.
our friend of the show, Rick, actually goes to the same gym as he does. So maybe I
Dude,
can get him to
you
drop a,
can
a
do it.
business card or drop a line or something
I
like
think you
that.
should
But
do
we'll see.
it. Tell him a Philly area guy is actually co-hosting with you.
There you go. There you go. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah,
Well,
buddy.
have a great day, everybody, and thanks for checking us out. Keep listening, and we're gonna have some fun and a lot of great things to come. So, Money Marc, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining,
Peace out,
and
brother.
we'll see everybody soon on Phil and the Mic. Thanks.